Hello again and thanks for joining. So this is a vintage Marklin tank engine. As you can see, it's an 060 and it's number 3029 in the Marklin range. But don't be fooled, this model at the top isn't actually the one that's in the box below. We've got two of these and we're going to compare like for like today. So both these locomotives I got on a job lot with a whole bunch of other things. They are second-hand models, of course. They're getting on a little bit now, but they do have that old Marklin feel about them. They seem to be quite robustly made. There's certainly quite a lot of weight in this little tiny model, and it's quite heavy with its metal chassis, but it does have a plastic one-piece body. Although it's all in black, we do have the lamps picked out in a little bit of silver at the front there. I think there's an acceptable level of detail on here. It's not super defined, but it's not too bad. And we have a little clip here holding the whole thing together. I like the rivet detail on the side. And on the side of the cab you can see the 3029 number there, so I think this might actually be a freelance model. But if you know differently and this is actually modelled after a real steam locomotive, let me know in the comments below. I'd expect to see something like Deutsche Reichsbahn there, but they seem to put Marklin on these older models. At the back we have again three lamps which have been picked out in silver, and we have a very basic coupling which is just a little hook which is stuck into the chassis, which is painted red. It does have things like brakes in line with the wheels, and the wheels themselves, massive big flanges and inserts with red paint on them. The front two wheels just revolve freely, and we have drive only to the back ones, and we have an indication of a connecting rod into the pistons here, and it goes straight the way through. I've seen a lot of more modern day Hornby ones looking just exactly the same as this. You can see the gear wheels there, they're in metal, up to the motor which you can see inside the cab and it's been painted red. You'd think maybe that would be black, but there you go, you can see it no problem. But I do like some of the stuff on this body shell, like the whistle up here, which could very easily get broken off, but it's nice that it's been moulded. And overall it's quite a nice cute looking steam locomotive. But what about the one in the box? Well, let's get that open. So it's come with its original little instruction sheet here for 3029, which is fantastic. It's got a great picture of the model on the front here, and we have some details written in many different languages, and it just talks about how this locomotive operates, how you can take it apart. But a nice little vintage leaflet here. It says printed in Western Germany. It'll give you an idea of how old this model is. And here is the other steam engine. So it's almost identical, but there are some differences here. So at the front, we've got a red part painted onto the plastic for the buffer beam. But we have these parts, the pistons, painted black on this one, whereas they were red on the first one. Still the same lighting setup, but we do have the number picked out in paint at 3029 there on the front of the smoke box door. And also on the side of the locomotive you can see the numbers picked out along with these handrails, not the word Marklin for some reason. And on the back we have the number picked out here as well as the lamps. And again red for the buffer beam. Aside from that, it looks like exactly the same model. And looking side by side you can see the similarities and also the differences. And the one in the box has got the motor painted black. It was red on the one that didn't have a box. So it looks to me like the one in the box is just slightly better because it's got some more details picked out, although it does look as though it's worn a bit more. The paint's come off of this wheel, for example. So yeah, I think these models are AC 3-rail because I just tried to put some DC power onto it and it just shorted out on both of them. So I'm not going to be able to get these to run unfortunately on this video, but what I can do is weigh one of them, so let's put one on the scales. So this model comes in at 169 grams. So Marklin's little tank engine number 3029, I think it's quite an appealing little model. Even if it isn't based on a real one, it's very indicative of German locomotives from the pre-war era, I think, or maybe possibly post-war. I'm sure one of you guys knows more than me and you could tell me in the comments. They're obviously not up to today's standards in terms of fit and finish, but as a budget model, which I assume these were, these work pretty well. They've got an acceptable level of detail, plus they've got that metal chassis which really helps. And I'm sure they would run just perfectly if I had an AC setup. Normally Marklin stuff does, no matter how badly bashed it is. I do like the boxes on these. I think the artwork is always really quite cool. And I think the fact that they've lasted all this time and they still seem to be in pretty good condition is real testament to the build quality of Marklin back then. I really like stuff like this, but what do you think about these? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'm going to put one of these on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that's it for this one. Thanks for checking these out with me, and I'll see you on the next video. Cue the music.
So model train, model words, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo. So model trains, tiny trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny in tiny worlds. choo choo.